For years, the biggest question surrounding Prince Harry and the royal family has been hiding in plain sight. Does he truly want reconciliation, or has the damage between both sides become too deep to repair? Now, a new wave of speculation is pushing that explosive question back into the spotlight, and this time the focus is not just on Harry, but on the children, the security battles, and the family ties that seem to be hanging by a thread. Behind the carefully worded statements and public appearances, many are asking what is really stopping a private reunion from happening. Is it safety concerns, trust issues, old wounds, or something much bigger that the public still does not fully understand? Every new report seems to reveal another layer of tension, and the silence from behind palace walls only makes the mystery grow.
Do not use your children as pawns to get what you want.
Thing in it that Harry wanted a half in, half out role. How do you think that would work?
We knew it wouldn't work.
Prince Harry is continuing to try and negotiate, or I would use another phrase here, bully to hell.
He doesn't like it. He's stamping his feet like an impetuous, tantrum-prone little teenager who didn't get his way. That's basically it.
The moment this story resurfaced, the conversation exploded beyond a simple family visit. Suddenly, everyone was debating what a possible UK return from Prince Harry would actually mean. Would there be a secret meeting? Would King Charles finally spend meaningful time with Archie and Lilibet? Or would years of conflict continue blocking even the smallest chance of healing? Because this is where the story becomes far more complicated. Some royal observers believe the biggest problem is that private family matters have repeatedly become public battles. They argue that every interview, every statement, and every media appearance adds another layer of pressure, making a peaceful solution almost impossible. The question many critics keep raising is simple. If the goal is truly family, why does everything appear to become a public discussion? They believe sensitive conversations involving grandparents, grandchildren, and fractured relationships should happen away from cameras and headlines. According to this view, every new controversy creates more damage, and every public reaction pushes the two sides even further apart. The royal family has always operated behind closed doors, but Harry and Meghan's approach has changed the entire dynamic. Now, every disagreement becomes global news, and every move is analyzed by millions.
Harry is continuing to try and negotiate, or I would use another phrase here, bully to hell, the king in public over this summer visit, and I'm sick of it, because it's like, when are you going to learn, man, that it is completely inappropriate and unacceptable, and the king simply will not have it, and the royal family simply will not have it, with you calling up trashy reporters at trashy mainstream media publications to try and force them into doing something they don't want to do.
It's so wrong and disgusting. I don't even know. Harry is just a broken man, Dan. He is broken in a big way. And I feel sorry for those children.
But then comes the issue that has become one of the biggest obstacles in this entire saga: security. Whenever Prince Harry's future visits to Britain are discussed, the conversation almost immediately returns to protection arrangements. Supporters argue that his concerns are serious and should not be ignored. They believe security decisions are personal and complicated, especially when family members are involved. But critics see it differently. They question whether security is truly the only barrier, or whether it has become part of a much larger conflict involving trust, responsibility, and unresolved anger. That disagreement has transformed into a symbol of everything wrong between Harry and the royal family. One side sees a son trying to protect himself and his family. The other side sees someone refusing to move forward unless everything happens on his terms. And in the middle of this storm is King Charles, a grandfather whose relationship with his grandchildren remains one of the most emotional parts of the entire debate. Many people looking at this situation cannot ignore one painful question: how much time is being lost? Because while adults continue arguing over the past, children continue growing up. Some observers believe the bond between a grandfather and grandchild grandchildren should not be trapped inside years of family conflict. Others insist the situation is far more complicated than outsiders can imagine and that the public only sees a tiny piece of what is happening behind the scenes. The truth is, nobody outside the family knows every conversation, every disagreement, or every private decision. But one thing is undeniable: whenever Harry's name appears alongside the royal family, the world pays attention. Every possibility of peace creates hope, and every disagreement creates another headline.
So Harry is, at the end of the day, is going to be the one regretting every decision. Once again, using your children as a prop, using them, to get what you want. And, the king can't really go in this back and forth with Harry about this because he's got work to do. He's got his health to focus on. Seeing your grandchildren should just be a natural thing. There should not be any negotiations around seeing your grandchildren. How absurd is that?
After years of tension, some commentators believe both sides may eventually have to decide what matters more: winning the argument or rebuilding the relationship. Because at some point, every public fight reaches a moment where the consequences become impossible to ignore. The longer the distance continues, the harder it may become to repair what was once a family bond. And now, with another possible UK visit being discussed, the pressure is rising again. People are watching every move, every statement, and every silence. Will this finally become the moment where Harry and the royal family quietly begin repairing the damage? Or will the same cycle of accusations, speculation, and disappointment continue all over again? The biggest twist in this entire royal drama is that some critics believe the solution may actually be much simpler than the public battle suggests. Instead of another round of headlines, interviews, and accusations, they argue that a quiet family meeting could happen without anyone outside the inner circle even knowing. And this idea has created another explosive debate because it raises an uncomfortable question. If a private reunion is possible, then why has it not happened already? Some commentators believe the focus should be on allowing King Charles to reconnect with Archie and Lilibet away from cameras, away from pressure, and away from the endless cycle of public arguments. They suggest that a royal residence could theoretically provide privacy and security at the same time, removing the need for a dramatic public appearance. But others immediately push back, arguing that the security issue is not as simple as people make it sound. They point to past international trips and public appearances and question whether safety concerns are truly the only reason these meetings remain complicated. According to critics, the disagreement has become less about logistics and more about a much deeper conflict involving trust, image, and control. They believe every explanation creates another question and every answer opens another debate. The controversy grew even louder as some commentators began discussing Meghan Markle's role in these decisions. Some claim that because Harry and Meghan make family choices together, both may influence whether the children spend more time in the UK. Others argue that blaming one person oversimplifies a situation that has been developing for years. Still, the speculation continues because every move from Harry and Meghan is analyzed under a microscope. What makes this story even more intense is the ongoing tension between Harry and Prince William. While many people believe a relationship with King Charles could potentially be repaired, the situation with William appears far more difficult. The brothers, once seen as a united pair after the loss of Princess Diana, now represent one of the most talked about family divisions in the world. Reports and opinions continue to suggest that communication between them remains extremely limited, and many royal watchers question whether that relationship can ever truly return to what it once was. The public is left wondering whether reconciliation is genuinely being attempted or whether both sides are simply protecting their own positions. Because behind every headline is a much bigger question: can a family recover when the entire world has watched the damage unfold? As the discussion continues, attention keeps returning to Harry's children. Archie and Lilibet have become one of the most emotional parts of this entire story. Supporters of reconciliation argue that children should not lose opportunities to know their extended family because of adult disagreements. They believe time is moving quickly and that certain moments cannot be recreated later. Critics, however, say the responsibility for making those connections depends on decisions being made now, not someday in the future. The argument surrounding Harry's relationship with the royal family has now become bigger than just one visit or one disagreement. It represents a battle between privacy and publicity, personal feelings and public duty, family loyalty, and institutional responsibility. Every side believes they have reasons, and every side believes the other side is missing the bigger picture. Meanwhile, the future of the monarchy itself has become another major part of the conversation. Many observers believe Prince William's vision for the future involves a smaller, more controlled royal structure with stricter expectations for those involved. They argue that after years of controversy, the institution may need change to protect its reputation and survive future challenges. Whether people support that approach or criticize it, the message is clear. The monarchy is entering a new era where every decision carries enormous consequences. The story surrounding Harry, Meghan, Charles, and William is far from over. New reports will continue, new opinions will continue, and every possible sign of reconciliation will be examined. But the biggest mystery remains the same. Behind all the public statements and endless speculation, are the people involved secretly closer to a solution than anyone realizes, or is the distance between them still impossible to cross? For now, the silence continues, and that silence may be the most revealing part of all.